What is up, everyone? Today on Seth Leroy Hustle Adventures, I'm going to do something that has been requested a lot, but as I've said to people, my mind goes crazy, so I would explain it awfully. My wife, Sarah, she is going to be explaining step by step what we did to get where we are today with this cargo van business. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi everybody, yes, I'll get straight to the point. So these are our steps we took. I have it all written down, so if it feels like I'm reading from something, I am, because this is just so much information to remember off the top of my head. But okay, so our first step, we did our LLC, and we did it through Zen Business. We decided to go with a company, an online company, because they just do all the work for you, and it makes it nice and easy, especially when you don't know exactly what you're doing, making your first business. So it was so convenient. Some people, they want to do everything themselves to skip paying the amount of money. It's around like between $400 and $600. I can't exactly remember how much it was to get this accomplished, but it's just so convenient. If you have the money to do it, I suggest that you just have an online company like Zen Business do it all for you. And after we filled out all the information, which they just ask you a bunch of questions and they make it really simple. They ask you what needs to be known, you tell them, and then they file it all for you with the state and everything, and it only took a couple days for our LLC to come in. The second step we did was we researched and found a vehicle. We do have a video on that. You can look back in our playlist to find the video of the day we took to find the right vehicle. But we decided to go with a 2013 Ford F-350 extended vehicle. We had 3 requirements when it came to finding the right vehicle, and we wanted it long enough. We didn't so much care for high enough because a lot of the people in the videos that we saw, they said that most of the things that they got, or most of the loads they got, could have been easily done in just a regular low-roofed cargo van. But they do suggest to get extended, so we just wanted to make sure that we could carry 3 pallets. You can do 3 pallets in here.
Yeah.
And then you said 4 if the 4th one is broken down.
Yeah, I even did 4 pallets when I depalletized one, and it still worked out going all the way to California.
Okay, so the 3 requirements for a vehicle, like I said, long enough. We wanted it cheap enough because we were buying it with cash to reduce the overhead. We didn't want payments for one, because, you know, who wants a monthly payment when you have your insurance and your own household bills and everything else. So we didn't want a van payment, so we just wanted at the most to pay $15,000, and we ended up paying $13,000, so that's not bad. And then the 3rd requirement was new enough. So going into the business, we didn't know if places cared about how old your vehicle was, which I've seen on one. They said 2007 or newer, which is pretty cool. Ours is a 2013, so we wanted it to be like around 10 years old or newer. So that's what we got. But calling around to different companies and stuff, nobody even really cared.
And I've only had one company that cared that my authority wasn't 30 days or 60 days.
Yeah.
Every other's never even cared about my authority. Just
seems like people just want to get their loads out.
Yep.
So that's the second step, was finding the vehicle. The 3rd step then was we did the DOT, MC, BOC3. You have around 30 days from the start of the MC to find your insurance after you file that. And for the BOC3, was it just the DOT, MC, BOC3, or were there a couple other things involved with that too, or were those just the main 3 things?
And then there's that one that I had to redo at the end of the year called the...
Oh, the gas mileage thing?
Not just the gas mileage thing, and then it's called like the R... Oh my gosh.
Well, if you research it.
Yeah, it'll come up with the
It'll come
BOC3. It's the RC. Yeah, whatever.
But anyway, for the BOC3 and stuff, only a processing agent can file the BOC3. So you need to find a company online who can do it for you, because they'll present you with the processing agent who can get that all squared away for you. But so if you do the DOT yourself, you can actually walk through it like we did on YouTube. They go through the whole thing and then they explain things to you, and it's really easy to follow along with. But when you're going through the part of it where it asks you what kind of stuff you're gonna haul, you don't want to, there's going to be a whole bunch of things. You don't want to select everything, because that's going to make your insurance higher. So pretty much just pick general freight. Otherwise, when you go to get your insurance, it's going to be super high, and you're going to be wondering why the hell is it so high? And it's because you literally said you can haul everything under the moon. So just make sure to note that. But the company that we went with to do the MC and the BOC3 was the Federal Carrier Compliance Registration out of Garden City, Idaho. And they were super friendly. They helped with everything. Anytime we had a question, oh, what's going on with this? What's taking so long? Or how do we do this? They were just so happy to answer our questions and stuff like that. And then when the MC finally went through, I think we paid an extra fee for them to just deliver the
Expedite it by email, our certificate of authority.
the certificate of authority, so that we could literally start running the next day.
Yep. And they were cool. They weren't trying to upsell me ever. They would be like, you could try it yourself, and then, yeah.
When you file for your DOT and your MC and your VOC3, though, you're going to get like a multitude of companies blowing up your phone, calling you constantly, and it's going to be a little overwhelming. You just kind of have to ignore phone calls for a little while, maybe do your research on who to go through. The funny thing is that, so this place is called Federal Carrier, so you thought that it was...
I thought it was the FMCSA.
FMCSA, because the names kind of sound alike, so he ended up talking to these people thinking
We were scared,
it was the FMCSA, and he went through and paid them to do the MC and the BOC3, and he came home and told me, and I was like, you did what? Oh my gosh, are these people legit? Like, you just gave them all of our information? I was like so mad, and he called the FMCSA and these people.
And they
we
looked them up.
researched them and everything, and they did end up being a legitimate company. But just be aware, in this industry, there are so many scammers out there.
Can I say something to that?
Yeah.
Also, look out for, they're going to start sending you emails that you're not compliant. So I would be checking my DOT number and making sure I'm compliant. So make sure to check that.
The fourth thing that we did after we did the DOT, MC, VOC3, all the others, big fancy sounding documents that you're like, what do I need? What do I need now? So after we got all that squared away with that nice company that helped us with everything and told us exactly what we needed, and we felt good, we went on and we got our business account. Again, you have to do research and see if you can meet the requirements of certain banks, because all the banks are different with exactly what you need to bring with you to open your business account, and how much you need to keep in the account and stuff like that. We went with a bank that really didn't have a lot of requirements. Pretty much we just had to bring our articles of organization.
Yeah.
And have our EIN number.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was free business checking, so you don't have to have a minimum in this account either. The checks were like $50. So that was nice and easy. We got to open it the same day. And, because some of them, they'll ask you for your business template thing. And if you research, that's usually optional for you to do. I know you should do it, but we had just literally done everything that literally laying it out and doing a business template was something we didn't really want to do just to open a business account. We still have yet to do it, but that can be just something you do in your free time if you ever get any. But anyway, when we went and opened the business account, we put $4,200 into it, and that was to cover the gas for our first run, the insurance, anything else that you need to buy for your vehicle. I can go over the things we bought later, but pretty much you need to have this business account too to accept your payments, and it's really good to have your business account to separate it out from your regular account because you don't want to like mix them both. We picked 2 separate banks too, because like when you form your LLC, it protects you and your household and your regular checking account and everything from like anyone ever being able to sue you over something stupid that you might have done or something. So it's also really important to just have your business account to make it a separate entity from everything else valuable in your life. So we just keep like $4,200 in there to begin with, and then we went and we bought everything else, and anything that we buy for the business, whether it be gas, food, insurance, oil changes, like things we need for the van that I'll go over later, like that just comes out of the business account. And then it's easy to track that way too when come tax time at the end of the year. Then we can go through our deductions and hopefully pay less in taxes on all of our profits and everything. So really important to get a business account, especially if you have an LLC. Like, why would you go through the step to get an LLC but then not have a business account, you know? So that's that. And then step 5 is we got insurance. We did this in like the last week because we didn't want to be paying for something that's essentially sitting in our driveway waiting to be used for the MC to go through. So we did this within the last week. We called our insurance company we go through for our house and our car, which is the Elk River Agency here in Minnesota. And what they do is they search through a bunch of other insurance companies to find the best rate. So we told them we needed the commercial insurance, and they looked through, and Progressive was the only ones to respond to us, pretty much. So we went with Progressive because we only had a week left and we needed the insurance and we wanted to start rolling. And if you don't have your insurance before your MC comes through, it can cause a bunch of problems to where you'd have to refill everything out, and you just want to make sure you have that in place. You can always change it later, so if like it's too high through Progressive, then just look around later, but you just want to make sure that you have your insurance when your MC goes through. And Progressive was just the easiest one, especially being a new authority. And so we got commercial insurance, 100,000 cargo, 1 million liability, and we pay around $470 a month for that. And he does get a discount on that insurance because he has a CDL. So if he didn't have a CDL, it would probably be higher, and he has a good driving record, and it would also be higher if he didn't have a good driving record. So I think that's pretty good for being, what is it, commercial insurance on a cargo van. I don't know, you tell me, what do you pay?
And wasn't there a yearly thing for like $800?
Oh yeah, there was one more. It's something you pay every year. I forgot exactly what it's for.
Right, but it's just
a one-time, once-a-year thing for like $800-some.
Yep.
We paid that too.
And 2, we got general liability, or we got we're gonna look into full coverage.
Oh yeah.
Because we own it, and we went with general liability.
Yeah, we did go with general liability, and that was one of the reasons why we bought it outright, was so that we could do general liability. But with him being out in the winter on the icy roads and seeing how people are such stupid drivers,
and the deer that have ran in front of me, I'm like, no.
We're gonna look into doing a full coverage, because I mean, if we paid $13,000 for this, and if this thing gets totaled, like, there would be a big chunk of money again to buy a brand new one. So we're gonna see how much extra it costs a month to do it that way. he still has to call for that. But that's that. You might want to look into that if it's swingable. I mean, if it's not too much extra every month, you might just want to go with that, especially if you don't have the money to replace your vehicle if it ever gets totaled or something. So anyway, there's the steps. I gave you them to begin with because I watched so many videos where people just talked and talked and talked, and they didn't just get to the point right away, and I got so annoyed at that stuff. So I just wanted to get to the point to you. And then here in the second half of this video, I'm just going to tell you the reasons why we picked a cargo van instead of going with like a big rig or anything else. So reasons for a cargo van. For one, it's safer. I couldn't imagine him driving in the winter in a big rig. I have peace of mind knowing that he's in a cargo van and he's not in a vehicle that can just jackknife on the ice, especially with the other stupid drivers out there who like literally don't know how hard it is for a truck driver to drive on the roads with other people just being stupid. He doesn't have to stop at weigh stations, which is really cool. The insurance is lower. Cheaper startup costs. Like I said, the van was only $13,000. Easier repairs. We don't have to go out and find someone to work on our like big ass vehicle. Mm-hmm. We actually have someone we know that would easily just take this into a shop and fix it for us if we needed to. He can do hazmat loads higher than 1,000 pounds in a cargo van, which is a really rare niche because there's not many people driving a cargo van who actually have a hazmat. And he did get a hazmat load. One of his was it your very first load?
Yeah, one of them, and it was local, and we made good money.
It was like
20-minute run.
It was such a quick run for us, and he made really good money off that one.
It's one of the first vlogs.
That was cool. There's less DOT regulations, no DOT training program, which he'd pass, but it's just like we don't have to keep up on that. No vehicle inspections yearly, just less laws in general. And another really good thing is that we can park it in our driveway. Not everyone has the option to park a big rig in their driveway. We have 3 other vehicles, and this just sits right in our driveway with the other ones. And I don't know what our neighbors would think if we had a big semi truck just chilling in our driveway, because we're kind of in town, you know. Like I know some people have the space, but not everybody has the space to just have a big old semi truck. After we did the 5 steps? Yeah, 5 steps to get started. When we got started, we started with load boards. We did the DOT, truck stop, DOFT, and it just sucked for us. We couldn't find any loads. People who posted loads on there didn't have the right like dimensions or the weight stuff, so things that we thought we could easily do in a cargo van, it just wasn't possible, and we got so frustrated. We literally only found one job, and that was the job going to California, and just to get that job rolling was really hard because, you know, we had to do all the paperwork. And then we didn't even know how to be able to find a load back, because then that would be like me having to do all the paperwork, and then he wouldn't be able to have like the papers with him to do it and stuff. I don't know. It just ended up being like a mess. So then we decided we'd try to find a dispatcher. So what we did is Seth went on Indeed and filled out a bunch of apps for dispatcher. He put in what'd you put in?
Owner, operator, cargo van, sprinter van, and I literally applied to like 15 of them. Even ones that seemed weird. I was like, whatever, see what happens. And then some called and some were douchebags. They were like, oh, you have authority, you have insurance, that don't work for us. And I was like, what is happening? So then I found one that was like, no, you're the boss. You tell me what you want to do.
Yeah, and that was cool. I couldn't even believe it. Like, I was thinking, shit, we're gonna have to sell this van. He's gonna have to go back to working a CDL job and everything, and our life's gonna be hell again, because we started this business because we wanted to have more time together, dictate our schedule, determine the amount of money that we want to make in a month on our own, like have our own vacations when we want to have them, just have absolute freedom over our lives. That's why I'm really glad that we're doing this, because it's all working out for us. Our dispatcher keeps us rolling. There's no paperwork, no factoring, no searching for the next load. We're paid weekly. It's actually just like really easy. We make great money. It's not for everybody. I just want to let you know it's not for everybody. If you're not someone who's a saver or budgets their money, or if you're somebody who takes out a loan on like everything, like everything there is to take a loan out on life, if you have all that rolling, this is not going to be the job for you, because you're going to have so much overhead at home. You're going to have overhead on your vehicle, your insurance is going to be high and everything. You're not going to see the profit like someone like us will, who like literally we separate everything into categories for our bills, for our savings, for our spending, for taxes. We have everything broken down. We know where every dollar's going. If you live on more than you make, like if you have like credit cards that you charge your monthly stuff to, and you just have like credit card payments and loan payments and all this stuff, this is not going to be the job for you, because you're going to feel like you're driving for pennies. But if you're someone who's good with your money and your finances, this job is going to be like heaven sent for you. Like our bills are like $3,000 a month, depending on the area you live in. That might be high or that might be low, but for us that seems pretty low. And with our $3,000 a month bills, we still are making money to save. We still have money to spend. We still have money for our insurance and for the taxes to be taken out, and we're living a pretty comfortable life, along with him going out and doing a run, coming back home, taking days off, going back out again, being gone for maybe like a week, coming back home, being home for another week, and doing maybe like another run. Like, it's no big deal. You just have to be tracking your money and knowing where it's going, and being on top of, okay, this is what I need now, and this is how long I'm going to run to make this much money, and this is what's going to make us good for the month. And keep on your goals. You should have goals for the future and what you want to do in life, and live on less than you make and stick to it. And this is going to be a really profitable, really nice business for you to be able to spend time with your family while also like making money. You really learn to work smarter and not harder. It can be hard sometimes to be away from your family, or have to deal with the people in the factories, or like whatever, driving for so long. Like, you're only doing it for a little bit, and then you get to come home and really reap the rewards of your work. And you're not sitting there sad on a Sunday knowing you got to go in Monday and work the whole entire week. And like literally we only got Friday after we got off work, Saturday to be our one happy party day, and then Sundays were always so sad for us. Like, it's not even like that anymore. It's been a heaven sent job. It's been a really good situation for us. I hope that I've helped you with all of these steps that I've laid out for you. One more thing that I want to tell you about, just to get you started here, were the things we bought when we opened our business account and we wanted to get rolling. We bought a first aid kit, triangles if you ever get stranded on the side of the road, a window shield so that when you're sleeping at like truck stops, whatever, you put a window shield up just so people can't see in, and then you can stick towels in your window or whatever. But you want to make sure you're sleeping at truck stops. That's another thing too, is people get hotels and think that they're just gonna like sleep at a hotel every night. No, if like I said, if you're not a saver, if you're not a hustler, like, this is not going to work for you. You're going to be sleeping in your truck, so you make sure that it's comfortable. He got a sleeping mat to sleep on. It's like a memory foam one. There's a video of how he sleeps in this van and how he sets it up in here to sleep comfortably, and it's just fine. He sleeps in below zero weather with his fan off inside of this van, just toasty fine. So he explains how to do that. So he got a mummy sleeping bag, thick socks, and he's toasty in here. He sleeps really good, especially after driving all day. He gets nice and tired and just falls asleep in the van.
Oh, and get a portable charger too for when you're asleep, because my phone almost died a couple times.
Yeah, you need a portable charger.
Yep.
We have Life 360. That's
'Cause in
another
the
thing
cold,
you should set
yeah.
up. For your wives or your husbands at home to keep track of you. We have Life 360,
Yep.
and I can see where he is at any time.
And the charge on my phone.
And I can
yeah.
see the charge on his phone. One morning I woke up and his phone was about to die, and I called him and I woke him up and I was like, your phone's gonna die. And he was so thankful that I woke him up, because otherwise he would have woken up to get the load off. So get Life 360, get a portable charger so that your phone doesn't die while you're sleeping at night.
Because the cold will kill your battery.
If you're in the cold, yeah, the cold will kill your battery. He got a dolly, he got moving blankets, and straps. Make sure you have straps, because some people...
Yep, because I've only had a hand unload one thing, but I got a dolly because that opens more opportunity.
Yep. And then hard hat, goggles, reflective vest.
Yep.
Some places have needed that.
Yep.
So it's just good to have that on hand. And that's pretty much all we started with. I mean, you know, we go along on this adventure and find new things that we might need, but that's our little starter package, and that's everything we did. And
we've been very profitable.
Yeah.
Which we were very
profitable.
scared and worried at first, and yep.
But, I mean, that's all relative to your finances, I guess. So profitable to us might not be profitable to you, but I mean, we save $1,000 a month. We got $1,200 for fun every month, and we pay $3,000 of bills every month. We pay our taxes, we pay our insurance. I mean, everything's rolling, and we get our free time together and the choice to delegate what we want to do with our business and in our lives. So I would say that's profitable in itself. Just a few things if you're going to start this business and you're really scared. We were super scared to start, and you just have to squash that thought, basically, and just go ahead with your plans and just face the fears as they come, but don't think about the future. You just have to live in the here and now and do your steps to get to where you want to be, with a lot of prayer, and you have to have no reservations for going back to your old life. If you cannot imagine living the life that you're living anymore, like, we could not imagine him working 14 hours a day somewhere else, me at home with going crazy with all my kids, like no help, not seeing each other, and we love each other so much. Like, our family's so close, like we want to be with each other all the time. So we couldn't imagine just living a life where he was gone all the time. So we just did it, and I doubted it every second. When I filled out the LLC, I was like, whatever, this is a joke. When we picked out our van, I was like, focus on these. I was like, oh, I hope he'll get to use these.
Yeah.
You know, oh, this is a cool van. I hope he'll get to use it.
And she asked one day when I was on one of my runs, do you use those? And I took a picture. I'm like, yeah, they're filled with paperwork.
And I told him why. I was like, yeah, when we first bought the van, I was like, oh, those are handy if he'll ever get to use them. Like, I was totally doubting it, but
because everybody talked crap about cargo vans too.
Yeah.
And
like,
now we've been killing it. Yeah.
And stuff, but no, it's been really
amazing.
Simple,
yeah.
And I owe it to God. Like, really, we just prayed for this life. We wanted it. God could see our hearts that this is just what we wanted, and there was no other turning back. Otherwise, life would be shitty. So, God, like, seriously, we were guided because it was all so simple. While it was nerve-wracking, it just ended up being a heaven-sent situation, and I don't know. I'm so thankful we did it. So yeah, if you are wanting to do this, go through, do the steps, get to it, hustle, pray to God, have no reservations about going back to your job. I know it might sound comfortable, and if it's comfortable to you, then whatever. You can just think about this in the distant offness of your mind that you might want to do this one day. But if you have no reservations, then just go out and do it, because you have to. If you want to change your life, you have to do the steps to make changes to have a happier life, because we only get one life. So, and if you don't do it, you might regret not ever doing it. And that's what we said. We have to try, so we don't ever regret not doing it at some point in our lives. And you know, if it doesn't work out, we lost money with the Zen business, and we can sell the van to recoup some of our savings, and we can just move on with our lives and feel good knowing that we did it. And so we just decided to shove the fear aside and just do it. So that's what I hope for you. If there's anything you want to do in your life to make your life better, to get rid of anxiety about your life, you just have to make changes. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope that you gained a lot of pointers on what you need to do to start this business. I hope that I helped you out, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Comment below if you have any other additional questions. Thanks for watching. Keep hustling.